Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz again, and it is still February 9, 2022. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. This is the second one today. If I cannot do it, I don't, because I have other shit to do. If there's a threat to me, then I don't really have a choice, so apply the but-for standard. But for Mr. Perry coming at me, breaking the law in like 100 different ways, then we wouldn't have to do these to document it for court, would we? Also, my words get twisted a lot, so we've had to then assert the stupid standard of I'm not going to be held to a different standard than the rest of the world, nor is anyone helping me. So if somebody makes a joke, you take it as a joke and stop acting like you're a victim. You're not a victim of anything, and nobody goes where you are. You come in where I am. I left. I moved twice. I mean, I don't know how many different ways I need to repeat myself. I'm used to being in Vegas so Vegas, and also we assert all constitutional rights. I have the right to equal protection. Misogyny and gender discrimination is as bad as racism. We don't live on Noah's Ark anymore. So, listen, I mean, Vegas, no question, was culture shock for me. It was a little bit, I could tolerate it because I did grow up in a small town, Roswell. But I had lived in Vegas for a long time, and it's very big. There's 2 million people there. There's 2 million people in the whole state of Oklahoma. And it's very fast-paced, like I've said. There's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people from other places with different ways of thinking, culturally, socially, religiously, on and on and on and on. You're exposed to a lot of different kinds of thinking in Vegas, and it's very, very competitive. So everybody, if you go to Vegas and drive down the strip, you can see that. How can we get the next most attractive thing to get people into my casino? Billions of dollars into that, are poured into gambling. And excuse me. So you have an environment where everything's very progressive. Mr. Perry is typing in my computer again right now, and I've asked you to get out of my computer, sir. Hacking is a crime. Listen, you're fucking creepy. Shut the hell up. Didn't ask you what you think, did I? What were you told to do? Get out of my life. You shouldn't know what I'm doing right now. This is a recording. It's not live. You act like you think this is a conversation. No, sir. You're not supposed to peep. You're not supposed to hack. You shouldn't know that I'm even doing this, much less try to act like it's a conversation. Do not converse with me. Shut up and get out. I'm sick of repeating myself. So I lived in a completely different environment, exposed to lots of different culture things. Everybody's very competitive. Everybody wants to get it done better, more efficient than the guy next door. How can we get people into my casino? We got to find it efficient, quick, effective, flashy. I want to see the next thing. And when I was in medical, that same attitude permeated in the medical community. I want to see the next great treatment. I want to see the next cutting edge technology. I'm going to use that. I want to be on the cutting edge of technology. I go to Lubbock, nobody wants to see anything new. We've been doing it that way for 30 years. Whoa, I couldn't even stand it. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't understand it. My brain doesn't think that way. Like I said, we're not on Noah's Ark anymore. I'm used to a much more competitive, progressive environment. I'm exposed to people from other countries. I dated a Pakistani man for 4 years. He had all kinds of friends from all over the world that would come visit. I had friends from Iran. I had friends from Jordan. I had friends from Lebanon. I had friends from England, Great Britain. I had a neighbor from Great Britain. I mean, I was exposed to a lot of different cultures, a lot of different ways of thinking. So going over to little bitty podunk Lubbock, where everybody has been doing the same thing for 30 years, that doesn't work, pisses everybody off. I mean, I don't understand that. I didn't like hearing that. We've been doing it that way for 30 years. Yeah, but it's not working, so stop doing it that way. At some point, you've got to realize that there's a better way to do things. Outside of this bubble of strange, there's better ways to do things. They're more efficient. They're more effective. They're cutting edge. Where the fuck are you? Get off your covered wagon. We have running water now. We don't use carts and buggies anymore. Gender discrimination and bias is that backwards to me. It's that fucking backwards. I mean, come on with this. So So we assert the 14th Amendment to equal protection to the laws. There's violence against women laws. There's domestic violence. There's laws against economic abuse, Mr. Perry. This is deviant behavior. If you have to look it up, if you don't want to take my word for it, I'm in criminal justice college. Believe me, we studied deviant behavior, crime causation. Crime causation, criminology, that study, is the study of why the fuck would anyone do that to another person. So I'm going to clear this up too with my own voice, with my own words. When you were sent a notice, certified mail, return receipt requested, and you received it, that said, whatever forged marriage license is out there that people keep asking me about, I want a copy of it, and I want a divorce or an annulment. And if it's a divorce, I want half of everything you own. It is fraud. I never consented to anything. I've never had it. There was never a ceremony. There's not going to be a ceremony. I moved twice to get away from you. That means I don't like you. That means I can't stand you. That means you're a turnoff. I don't know what the hell I have to say to get that across. I said it to Dr. Russell in 2016. What combination of words do I use to make you go away? To make you understand, I don't feel for you what you feel for me. You disgust me. You're repulsive to me. It doesn't go both ways. It just doesn't. And I think there's a lot of doubt, actually, amongst medical professionals and to some police that this is even about that. It seems more like it's about a cover-up than it is about, if you want to get somebody to like you, you do things that person likes. That doesn't include breaking the law, making them a victim of crime. Domestic violence laws also apply to me, Mr. Perry. I am set to the same standards as everybody else when I make a snarky comment of any kind. Of any kind. At all, ever. And so are anybody that works with me. If it's about you, we can make a snarky comment. You get over it and act like a man. Don't bother us, and then there won't be snarky comments. I've been snarky my entire life. You need to grow up. This is not daycare, sir. Do you have your blankie and your passy too? I mean, come on with that. You are some kind of drama queen. Not diva, just queen. Then we got the equal protection also. I mean, you gotta let me speak to that again. Okay, so you had Ted Nugent that made these comments about somebody, let's kill Obama, and then you had Whoopi Goldberg make the same comments about Trump, and I don't think that's okay. I was offended. Both of them offended me. Like, why do you got to say shit like that? Let's kill Obama. Let's kill Trump. Why would you say something like that? And yet, nobody really scolded them. I mean, people criticized it, but I can't say that they really suffered any consequences as a result of those comments. I've made very little comments. I'll say, I'll kick your criminal ass. Why wouldn't I? I am. No one has kicked your criminal ass harder than me. And it's a metaphor. It doesn't mean I'm going to actually go kick your ass. So why can't you keep up with the rest of the world in understanding that that is to make a point? That's not to be taken literally. Right? So we don't understand why you're slow and you don't get that. And you go into court and you complain, oh, I'm a victim. You're not a victim. You look ridiculous. People make comments like that all the time. It's for humor. I know that when Jason Moore would make that comment, I'm going to high five that guy in the face with a chair. I thought it was hysterical. That was one thing that I liked about Jason, is he was snarky like that, make jokes like that. I thought it was funny. I'm sorry that you're stupid. I really am. Then the next thing that I'm speaking to is the purpose of that letter, in addition to, I want a fucking divorce or an annulment, or you get rid of that. I'm not married to you. I'm not even your friend. I won't even take your phone calls. And the conversation that you had with somebody where they said, if you cared about this person, you call them. You don't put them in jail. It's too late now. I mean, you have ruined my life. You fucking ruined my life. I've heard recordings of you trying to kill me. I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you. What are you going to slip in my drink? That's your thing. You like poisoning people. That's your MO, your cereal. And I know a whole lot more than even I'm saying, Mr. Perry. You're caught, motherfucker. And I did that. So when you start bossing me around or thinking you're going to fool me, you need to remember who it is you're talking to. And you seem to always forget. No one has done what I've done. Nobody. But I have help. There's no fucking way I could do this by myself. So you didn't just pick a fight with me. You picked one with the 40 guys that keep catching you, that stood behind you and saw you watching me in my house years ago. You don't know when that happened, do you? How long have you had cameras on me? What town did I live in when that happened? There's a reason we wanted you elected. So you're at events and we can do shit like that. Right? They can walk up and talk to you. If they go into your office and they act like they need their taxes done, Mr. Perry, that'll only work once or twice, and then you're going to be wise to it. So, if you're in a crowd of people, and all these people are trying to come up and talk to you, you're not going to know which one's undercover, are you? All of you have talked to these undercovers, all of you, face to face. You just didn't know that's who you were talking to, because they're really good at what they do. I'm good at it. Gene Mitchell and Travis Myers had no idea they were being sting-upped, did they? Not a clue. I waited for somebody to say it. I finally had to say it myself. That was a sting up. Because here's what I was looking for. I want to link you to the corruption of Mike's case, Mike's trial. So why are they asking me questions about emails that only you would care about if you're making some false claim of being harassed when you're told on 33,000 times? You're an embarrassment, man. I mean, come on. So the other purpose of that is the prosecutor tells me you need to send Mr. Perry a written letter, certified return receipt requested, letting him know that you do not consent to him using your body, your property, or your utilities for his entertainment or for profit. Because when I have him arrested, we're going to go in and charge him with something, and I don't want him saying you consented and that you didn't ask for money, so there's no crime. So right now, we all know that. Right now, you need to send him a letter to make sure he understands clearly there's no consent and you do expect payment. He's not going to use your property and your body and your utilities for free and make a profit or himself be entertained. So we won't have that problem in his criminal case. Make sure he understands you expect payment and he doesn't have your consent. Because I'm not going to have him coming in, and as a defense, his attorney comes in and says, well, but she said she never expressed that she didn't like that. She never withdrew consent. I never gave consent. But, people lie. And she never asked for money. So we don't, what's the crime? So now you've got a letter that I sent upon his instructions that you don't have my consent to peep and hack and use my property or my body or my utilities or anything else for that matter, for your enjoyment, your pleasure, your entertainment, or profit. You don't have it. I sent you a letter. I've sent more than one. And I do expect payment. It is $1,000 a day for every day you've done it, plus $2,000 a day for doing it without my consent. So now you can't, when they arrest you, go in and claim there's no crime. She consented and she never asked for payment. We had the secret agreement. No, we did not. You imagined something like that, or you're going around lying about it, or I don't know, but I've made it very clear. You don't have my consent to invade my privacy. And it's not free, by the way. You owe me money. The other thing that happened, it's deviant behavior. Look at this. It's illegal for a reason, sir. Other men don't do it. Why do you do it? You might have your little crowd of weird that does it, but outside your crowd of weird, no one else does it. And you know what else, Mr. Perry? There are fetish clubs all over the place. In Vegas, they got escorts in Vegas. They'll let you do whatever the fuck you want to do. You have to pay for it. It's not free. You act like everybody owes you a free ride. You can just take whatever you want, and everybody's just supposed to feel sorry for you. You were abused as a kid. A lot of people were. You got money? Go pay a doctor. You don't get to commit a crime with it. Did Ted Bundy? Did Dennis Rader? Did John Wayne Gacy? Did Jeffrey Dahmer? Did Andrew Cunanan? Did any of those guys get a free ride and get away with it just because somebody was mean to him as a kid? Now, I would admit that child abuse, especially sexual, is horrific. It is. There is nothing worse. I cannot even imagine. I was abused as a kid, but not like that. Not sexually. Not even nothing close like that. Thank God. I was beat. But I'm going to tell you something. That made me stronger. I didn't beat my kids. My kids barely got spanked. My oldest son is happily married, very successful career. My youngest son is about to finish up his 4th year of his college. In a few months, he'll be a college graduate. My kids are doing great. I didn't beat them. My parents beat me. So I made a choice. I can either become like them and then they still control me, or I can be the opposite and use what happened to me for good. So, I'm going to tell you one thing that did, and this is kind of a common trait with kids who were abused as kids, as children. One is that, what it is that, and my dad had an alcohol problem. That's why he did Teen Challenge. He found Jesus and the alcohol went away. But the problem is his behavior it was the same. I never saw a different person, really. For a little while I did, but then he kind of went back to the mean person that he was when he was a drunk. He was drinking, he was doing tranquilizers and Valium, going to 3 different doctors, getting the full prescription. So he was doctor shopping. And this was way back when, before they checked out that stuff. And he'll admit it. That's why he did the Teen Challenge thing. He wanted to help other people get off drugs and learn how to live a life without a substance abuse. And I admire him for quitting doing that shit, but I wish he would have gone a little bit further, and kind of like the AA program does, where you go through some steps to change your behavior so that your thinking changes and your behavior not mean anymore. So, anyways, I sometimes, I guess, there's days where I'm bitter at my parents. There's days where I'm not. There's days it comes and goes. I don't know how to explain it, but they've done a lot more to me than just that. It's been a lifetime of shit. But some days I'm like, I think they did the best they knew how. I really think they just didn't know any better. And so I don't sit around and let it eat me up. But then there's other days where I'm just, I don't have any patience for that crap they did to me. I go back and forth. I feel like one day, it's probably when they're gone, every day will be like, maybe they just did the best they knew how. But what I do know is I didn't do that to my kids. I didn't do that to my children. So when my dad would come home, we had to go to our room. We weren't allowed to talk to him because we'd upset him. And he's drunk half the time. And so what that did, though, is that made me very able to walk in any room and feel the room out, because I had to as a child. Is it okay to talk to him today or not? Should I go hide in my room today or not? As a young child, I'm having to read a situation and make the right decision so I didn't get beat. While as an adult, I'm having a situation where I got a stalker, not one, but a bunch, with a whole lot to lose. And they're a very big threat to me, and my life is always in danger. Look at Lucky and Mike. If you think my life isn't in danger, they killed a cop. My life is in danger. I think at one point there was some conversation about putting me in Witzik, or discussing that with me. And I can't, I don't really want to do that, because what's happening is when he comes at me, we get more information, we get more evidence. So why would I want to blow that? I hate living like this. Believe me, I can't wait till he's arrested and I don't have to live like this anymore. But in the meantime, because he's targeted me, he gets caught. He doesn't know who I know and what I can do, does he? But he's seeing things happen he's not seen before. I'm the Jenga piece, Mr. Perry. You're getting awfully wobbly because you keep pushing and pulling to me. So I wanted my voice to be the one to explain that. There was a prosecutor that said, when he's arrested, I don't want him to come into my courtroom and claim a defense of she consented and didn't ask for money. He's using her body, her home, her utilities for his entertainment and for profit. So send him a letter to let him know you do expect payment and he doesn't get your consent. So it's not that you just said it somewhere. He's got it in writing, certified mail, return receipt requested. He's been notified. You are to stop and you are to pay me. You never asked for my consent to begin with. I don't want to take your phone call even. You're getting told on because your conduct is deviant, Mr. Perry. It's offending everybody. It's offending people, sir. And that's why you're getting told on. No one asked you what you think or how you feel or what you want. We all know what you want. You want to rape women in the privacy of their home and go jack off, or as our witness described it, rub one out. You've got a problem with self-control. Criminology is the study of why in the fuck does somebody do that to another person? You got raped as a kid, and I'm sorry, but you have things that you can do to overcome it and not become just like her or worse. Did she murder a cop? Your cousin that raped you as a kid? Did she murder a police officer? Because you did. We want you gone. We all want you gone. When I'm at work on the economic abuse stuff, this was actually before COVID. COVID took up a lot of our income. Google used to send they didn't send. Google has a data center out by where I worked, and a lot of guys that worked there would come to our strip club. Well, when COVID shut everything down, they quit coming in. So that was a lot of income we lost. But whatever was left, Mr. Perry took. So that's like I said, my guy said it's not worth going in if you're not going to come out with things like recordings of Pinto and texts from Terry Wagner and Mickey James and Joel and whoever they hire to go in and ask you questions that are weirdo questions that are none of his business, that most customers, regular customers, don't give a shit about. How tall are you? What's your shoe size? I had 20 guys in one night ask me that, including Terry Wagner. If you're trying to frame me for a murder, you might need that information for trajectory or whatever. You're always trying to frame me for something. You need your lie. You need your cover-up. You need your, Stormy Daniel bullshit scandal. Didn't she get arrested for some kind of infraction, and then they had to dismiss the charges and pay her? Selective prosecution. Okay, so I'm on stage one night, and these two guys are sitting next to me, and they're sitting next to the stage while I'm on stage. Well, one of them starts to put money up there, and the other one pulls his hand back, and he goes, "We can't tip her." And he goes, "Why?" And he goes, "She pissed off that bigwig from Texas. We were told we can't tip her." And he goes, "That's bullshit." And he goes, "Yeah, and she just hurt us. Let's go." They got him left. I said something about it. About a week or two later, I get on stage, and man, I mean, there was all kinds of money on that stage. I'd never made that much money on stage in my life. I'm taking the money off the stage and walking into the dressing room in the back, and one of the girls looks at me, and she goes, about fucking time he lets you make some money." And I go, "What? About fucking time he lets you make money?" I go, "Lets me?" And she goes, "You know he won't let you make money." I go, "He's not supposed to be in my life at all. Much just deciding, lets me. What? What in the fuck is going on?" Right. So, lets me. No, I don't think that's how that works, Mr. Perry. Economic abuse. By the way, our guys hired a guy to go to all the clubs where I've worked. They were there on the nights I was there, and they were there on the nights I wasn't. And they said it's a vastly different environment when you're not there than when you are there. Crazy different, night and day, like night and day. So how would you know what nights I'm going to be at work without voyeurism and hacking, Mr. Perry? That's interesting. Our guys were standing behind you, watching you. See, they didn't want anybody to know there was a case, especially you, that there even was such an investigation until you got recorded talking about killing me so much. They said, the guy goes, "I think we need to let him know there is such a thing, but you are not allowed to say who we are. You're not. We can't expose who we are right now because we can do all kinds of shit when people don't know who we are." Yep. And they also know you guys call all over the place. Is it you? Is it you? Are you investigating? Nobody tells you a fucking thing, do they? So, for the record, there's that. We needed that to not just be in writing, but my voice expressing my intent when I sent a letter that said, "I know you're a peeping Tom. I want you to know I don't consent, and I do expect payment. So that when they arrest you, and you're prosecuted, you can't go into court and claim as a defense she consented and didn't ask for money. Where's the crime? There's the crime. Right there. There's no marriage, there's no wedding, there's nothing. You're not even a friend. You got delusion problems. Delusional erotomania. Let's look at that. It is a form of delusion disorder. It's a mental disease. As is antisocial disorder. Antisocial disorder is when people ignore the rights and wishes of other people, like privacy laws. I can make whatever fucking amount of money I want to make. You get your hands out of my wallet. The more I'm broke, the more you invade my privacy. The longer Mike's in jail, the more you smear and lie, and commit fraud against me, in or out of court. The more problems I have because you caused it, and I got to drop everything I'm doing and do shit like this, document it, or fix a problem or make a phone call to resolve something you caused. The more pissed off everybody gets and the harder they go at you and the more we get. Last night, did she not work tonight? Did I? Did I work last night? See, I'm not even going to say yes or no, did I or did I not. I'm not going to confirm or deny what I did last night because you're not supposed to know. But I heard a recording of you talking about it. I don't know how many different ways we need to tell you. When you pose a threat to her, they won't let her go. And they're going to come after you for the money she lost. Because you posed a threat to her and they wouldn't let her go. They pulled me out of a strip club. Because the risk increased. There's always a risk. Every time I went to work, there was a risk. But so my guys had to make a judgment call. Do you need to go and make money? Can you go make money? Can you get around the risks? And can you maybe come out with some evidence? If we can accomplish those 3 goals, go. If the risk is too high and too dangerous, don't go. And Joe Chadwick has $5,000 of my dollars that I had to pay him for missing work because they told me it's too risky, don't go. Joe Chadwick had that much of my money, $5,000, in no-show fines. $5,000 fucking dollars that I had to pay the man that I worked for not going to work because you posed a risk. So, when it comes to a restitution type scenario, you're going to have to deal with that then. That's not even my call. I have nothing to do with that. But what I do know is my guys looked into it. They know to the penny how much you've cost me, including last night, if I didn't go to work. If I did go to work and I had to cut it short, they know how much money exactly to the penny that cost me. You don't get to steal my money. You're not to be anything to me. You don't dictate shit. You get out of my life and no one asks you what you think. No one. We're all sick and tired of dealing with it. Delusion problem. Your imaginary romance. If you're trying to attract somebody, you do what they like. If you need a cover up, you do what you're doing. And I won't give you a cover up. And I will not apologize. How many times I heard you guys record it? We need her to apologize. I'm sorry you chose to be creepy. I'm sorry you chose not to go to the doctor and get help, and you've chosen to impose and burden other people with your problems. I'm sorry you've chosen to murder. Premeditate it. I'm not sorry for talking about it. I'm glad that I've pointed it out because Mr. Al, if you keep typing in my phone, is Al talking? Is it Al? Is it again, not told who the leaks are? What that tells me is Al must have said something that made sense and you didn't like it. I don't know. I'm not told who the leaks are. I'm not told if they got the information from a leak or a wiretap. They don't give me that information. But you're not going to kill Al. I'm going to tell you that right now. Al has anything happen to him, you'll wish you were dead. You're going to leave everybody alone. You're not going to hurt another person. You're not going to hurt another person. You're going to leave everybody the fuck alone. I don't talk to Al. I don't know Al. That I know. There's no time that Al and I have gone to lunch or something. We don't chat. He doesn't call me. So, is he a leak? Couldn't tell you. I'm not told that. I don't even know which of the officers, 40 officers that helped me, are talking to informants. I have no idea. I'm not in that loop. It's none of your business. You're dangerous. Nobody's going to tell you that. Now, here's what we are telling you. Leave me the fuck alone, sir. I want my privacy back now. That's not an extra. That's not payment for anything. That is just my basic right. Get away from my money. Get out of my phone. Get out of my computer. Get your cameras off me. You don't have my consent. And I've said that over and over and over and over. And I've said it in writing. So when you go to court for your criminal charges, Mr. Perry, Mr. Robertson, and everybody else, you cannot go in and claim, we didn't know, she consented and she didn't ask for payment. I did and I didn't consent, and I have asked for payment, and I do expect it. So if you don't want to, sometimes you can handle things outside of court with a letter. So I've sent you the letter. Otherwise, I'll see you in court. And it might be after your criminal charges that are all finished. Whatever I don't get in restitution, I can seek in civil court. Can I not? Unless it's all resolved beforehand. But I'm going to tell you something. The main demand I have that I don't have to go to court for, sir, is get out of my privacy. Get the fuck out of my privacy. I do not have to go to court to get that. It is a legal right that I just have. And you're violating me, and I do feel raped, and I don't consent. Get out. Get the fuck out. And that has nothing to do with money. Do not hack, do not peep, do not contact me at all. Do not contact me at all. Now, for you to be typing Al's name in my phone, is Al talking? Then and I understand him to be TPD, you said? I have not met this person. I've given lap dances to people named Al. I don't know if he's one of those Als or not. Don't care either. This is not someone I talked to on the phone. This is not somebody I've talked to recently. I haven't danced for a year. This isn't somebody I go to lunch with. I don't know who he is, other than you typing it in my phone. So if there's a guy named Al, there's your hack evidence right there. Because you're going to know we don't go to lunch. We don't talk on the phone. And if you came and got a lap dance from me, you would know when that would be. Guess what? So did a bunch of other people named Al. There's other guys named Al. There's a lot of guys named Tyler. He types that in there too. Is it Ty? Oh my gosh. I know about 100 Ties. Which one? Jim. I know like 5 Jims. One of them I've given lap dances to. A couple of them I've given lap dances to. One of them is Dave Robertson's attorney. Which one did you mean? I mean, come on with this. Leave me the fuck alone, Mr. Perry. Leave me the fuck alone, weirdo. Leave me the fuck alone. The more you contact me, when I've told you over and over and over, I hate it. It's disgusting. Get off me, rapist. And I have to repeat myself, the more pissed off we all get. I said no. I've said no for 12 years. I have gone to great efforts to get away from you and to not have a fight, to not have a conflict. Go away. And I don't like doing podcasts. I'm busy. You're taking up my time from other shit. You're taking up a lot of people's time from other shit. I'm not the only one complaining. Stop taking other people's time up for your weirdo land imagination. And this Calvin guy, who the fuck is Calvin? Did you hire him? Who is this Calvin person? Calvin person, I don't know you. I didn't come to here to pick a fight with you. What I asked you to do, leave me alone. And when you don't, I have help. They go at y'all. And then next thing we know, I'm saying, well, they said this and they said that. And then Perry's typing in my phone, who told? It's not who told that's the problem, and I don't know. Here's what the problem is. Why they're telling. You're pissing everybody off. Deviant behavior, people don't like it. People don't like that. That's why it's illegal. People don't like it when you do that. We do, sir, live in a civilized society. Act right. Act with some dignity. Act with some class. Act with some respect. Don't you want to be a dignitary? If you want to be a dignitary, act like one. And you got to at least be a reasonable, prudent person. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't care who you guys are. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't, Leave me the fuck alone. Thank you.